Dragonfly here, doing the Tarot Tag 15 by Arwen. This is like take 4. It's been a rough afternoon, so I'm going to get right into it. Question number 1. What is your favorite deck? My favorite always go-to deck is Deck of the Bastard by Tarot by 7. I don't have a tripod, so I got this like... You may fall over, so bear with me. Anyway, Deck of the Bastard. So, this is a really nifty deck. It's really aged. I really like it. It is not the prettiest artwork. It's just pretty straightforward Rider-Waite. But it has the aesthetic I like. Like these cards have been in the family forever type of aesthetic. Passed down by generations, you know. So they're pretty reliable, pretty accurate, honest. They're definitely my go-to deck. What tarot card do you think stands for who you are now? So that card would be the Tower card. A year ago, my sister-in-law passed away. 2 days later, my brother's heart stopped. Both of these deaths happened in the family home with children present. The children, 6 to 13 years old. My brother and his wife did not have a will. They had no guardian type of thing put in place. They had nothing. So I was in Maine. My parents live in Michigan. My parents were at the house the time that my brother passed away. My father actually had to perform CPR on my brother. And it was pretty rough. I was on my way to Alabama when he passed. So, fast forward a little bit. My brother was financially stable. And all kinds of random people came out of the woodwork to fight the estate. In Alabama, the children are considered part of the estate. So there were custody battles, probate battles, just crazy nightmare of a mess. In the end, I got custody of the children, got the estate, all that kind of stuff. So, worked it out so that everything as far as the estate goes put into trust for the children. I think that is what pleased the court the most, because I had already had everything set for that. But whatever, it doesn't matter. There's no big drama with all of that. Anyway, it took a good 9 months to get everything straightened out. And meanwhile, I quit my job to do this fight. It was just crazy. So, and I just couldn't fly back and forth from Maine to Alabama all the time. And part of the time, the kids were ordered to stay in the house. They had to start school in Alabama. And so I quit my job. I did all of the court stuff in Alabama. And then my husband works out of state. All my children are grown. They all live in Maine. They're all grown, and they have children of their own. My husband works out of state all the time. So I basically was an empty nester. What we had decided, what would be best for the family, was for me and my nieces and nephews to move into the house with my parents in Michigan. My parents have a giant house, plenty of space for the kids, lots of land. They're working on building it into a homestead, you know, with animals and produce, some gardening and maple honeybees, all maples, you know, sap trees. We did all that this year, and some honeybees and all this stuff. So that it would be good for the kids. They'd be their grandparents. They'd be here, and you know, it was just a good choice for my nieces and nephews and my parents to have the extra help here. But I left my children, my grandchildren, my corporate job, a very good job, very fast paced, a lot going on, to basically come be a stay at home mom farmer. Okay, so my life is definitely upheaved, and it took something traumatic to do that upheaval. Now things are calming down, and we're rebuilding. So it is something. I guess that's how I see the tower. Something devastating tore my life apart, and now it's putting it back together again. I'm building new. Oops. Question 3. What tarot card do you think stands for who you want to be? So, 9 of Cups. The universe saying, take anything you wish for. That everything you've done, it's a reward. I have doubts about being a stay-at-home mom, being this homesteading farmer, canning vegetables and all this stuff. I have doubts about that. I have doubts about, leaving my children, leaving my grandchildren, and I mean, it's not that far away. It's a drive. It takes a day, 20 hours, a little bit less than that, but I always drive my dog, so it takes 20 hours. So I have a little bit of doubt. I feel like I abandoned my family a little bit. And I'm sure that's just more me than anything. I'm a Virgo, so it probably is me. But I would like to not have that. I would like for the universe to, basically reward me for ripping my life apart. Now, some people would say having these kids would be a reward, and don't get me wrong, it definitely is. That's not the part I feel guilty about at all. I love these kids, and I would do it again in a heartbeat, no doubt about it. It's leaving my family that I have a hard time with. So, next question. Draw a tarot card and tell us how it answers the question, what does the universe want you to know right now? Sorry about your shaking. What does the universe want me to know right now? Well, let's shuffle that card in a little bit. So the universe gave me 10 of Wands. I'm sorry, 3 of Wands. 3 of Wands. I was looking at you. So, 3 of Wands. I guess the universe is telling me that I am going to do okay with this homesteading thing. That I have started an Etsy shop selling stuff, and that apparently it is going to work out. Okay. Question 5. Do you have any cards that you must love in order to work with the tarot deck? I must love the Tower. I must love the Moon. I figure as far as the Tower goes, if I can't face the darkest part of myself, if I can't connect with that, then the tarot deck doesn't really help me out much. That being said, if the rest of the cards are super pretty, I will buy them just to have them because I have an issue with buying cards. But I won't use them quite as much if I can't connect with that tower card. And then the Moon. I see the Moon as representing both good and bad, light and dark. And again, it has to do with basically facing my inner self. Question 6. Why tarot and not some other divination system? I do have a pendulum. I do have runes. Runes were my first divination system. I only started tarot about 1.5 years ago. Yeah, about 1.5 years ago. So I'm really still pretty new. I stopped using the runes because I wanted to learn the tarot, and I kind of fixate on, if I'm decided to study something, I really fixate on it and need to kind of be one-tracked about it. And since then, I've just gotten into the picture aspect, looking at the pictures. And maybe this is going to sound kind of bad. So I look at the runes, and I see the runes as being a black and white version of a story. And I like the colored version sometimes. I will use the runes more for power-related things, energy building, ritual work. We'll use the runes. But I look at the tarot as ways to work on myself, I guess. When I do a tarot reading for myself, it's what do I need to address. Internally. I guess that's where I should have ended. Alright. What is the first book you remember reading about tarot, other than the Little White Book? The first book about tarot, I got the Shadowscapes Tarot, and it had the book in there for the artist, the author and the artist, their interpretation of tarot. That was really the first book. After that, I read the Tarot 78 cards. I can't remember. And then a Tarot 101 book and a bunch of other books after. Currently, I am working on this. And let me tell you, the coloring, it's really been phenomenal. I guess there's lots of things in the cards that, and again, it's all Rider Waite based, but there's a lot of nuances I guess I'm really learning with the cards, and it's kind of sticking to me a little more than like memorization, and especially on decks that sometimes the story is not there. I mean, maybe it's just hard for me. It's hard for me, I should say. It's hard for me to see the story. Okay, in this particular card, the Fool, alright, I don't see beginnings in this. I see somebody acting like an ass. Okay? Now, maybe that's what that card's supposed to say to me. I don't know. But he is in the grass, and he is kind of on a path, and, I don't know. Looks like he's acting like an ass. Just juvenile. So I probably could go further if I really wanted to, but I have a hard time with that sometimes. I like it to be a little more blunt, a little more straightforward, and less guessing what the symbols mean. So this coloring book has really been helpful as far as that goes. What tarot person would you like to sit down with and chat? Sit down with for a chat about tarot. I don't know a whole lot of tarot people. I really have no idea of anybody other than Arwen. I don't want that to sound like I'm kissing up to you where this is your tag, but really? You're funny. I love your videos, and I guess you'd be the one I'd want to sit down and chat with. Tell me about one YouTube tarot channel that you watch and why. So besides Arwen's, I watch Pagan Scholar. I completely love his tarot and poetry. Absolutely love it. The poems that he picks to go with the cards, it has put a good way to remember those cards and associations. I totally appreciate that. How many tarot decks do you have? I have, and I keep them written down in a little book because that's the way I am. I'll show you. Okay. So I have 26 tarot decks, 13 oracle. And I have more coming. I just ordered, I pre-ordered the one that Arwen did, and unfortunately I can't remember the name of it. And then the Fairy Tale Lenormand. And I think I have some others coming too. Somebody's gifting me a couple. And that would be October Skies is sending me a couple. Oh, I have an issue. I love cards. Okay. Next. How many tarot decks do you have? Number 11. Do you mix oracles and tarot when you read? Yes. Especially if I'm doing it for myself or my sister. When we do the readings for each other or whatever, we're looking for an affirmation. We're looking for messages from the universe, so to speak. So it's an affirmation, what we need to do to get the results the tarot cards are presenting to us. Okay? When I journal, I also will use an oracle and tarot together and kind of what are they trying to tell me? What do I need to do, meaning the affirmations? What do I need to do internally? And then I guess that's how I see the oracle cards. How do I improve myself? The oracle card. And then what steps I need to take, things I need to face, stuff like that with the tarot deck. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's just kind of how it works for me. 12. Have you ever created your own tarot card or deck? No. Do you read it for yourself? Absolutely. I do a lot of internalization with my tarot cards, my readings. Yeah, I guess that's all I would say. What are your favorite questions to be asked when you do a reading for someone else? I don't do very many readings for anybody else. It's what do I need to know? That's basically it. I don't ever even my sister, she's single. She's always looking for the love of her life. Don't ever do love readings. It's always what do we need to do to get where we want to be in the universe. It's always those questions. What's the craziest thing that's happened to you during a reading? The last day of court with getting custody of the kids. I had the lawyers, the judge, the guardian ad litem, probate people, all of these people that it was just all these detached from the family people, just whatever, the system. We're all meeting. They all talks amongst themselves without you present. It's kind of bizarre. But it was very nerve-wracking. It was very traumatic and just overwhelming. So I pulled 3 cards asking the universe to tell me something nice. I didn't ask about the results of the court. I didn't, it's a little birdie at my window. I didn't ask any of that. I just wanted some positive cards to come up to just kind of lighten the mood a little bit. I got Sun. I got the Lovers. And I got the Empress. And I don't know if you can hear that upstairs, but my mother must be vacuuming. Anyway, I took that as positive, as, things were going to work out. And they did. I mean, they worked out, and I have the kids here in Michigan, and life is actually going pretty well. Kids are adjusting, and it's just been pretty amazing so far. So anyway, I think that's the last of the questions. Let me just make sure. Alright, so tarot deck. Answers cards you must love. It's first book. Person. Tell me about YouTube. How many tarot decks do you have? Okay, I think that is it. So it was pretty fun. Yeah, I think it was pretty fun. So thank you and have a great day.